champion prevailed, defeated the villain, now pour him some ale.
Ah, fuck.
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your witcher, a friend of humanity. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your witcher, a friend of humanity.
Good evening and welcome. So this is going to be my first time doing the F1XL stream properly through the computer. So this is going to be quite an interesting little while. I say monumental. I don't know. It's going to be fun, to say the least. So where do I start? How do I get into the swing of things? I think first off, really, I think maybe we should have a look at the standings. We've missed a couple of weeks. Maybe turn my mic up a little bit might help as well. Let's go to that. Let's see how that works. So I hope you guys are doing well. Wait for the stream to catch up with this as well. It seems like. Let's go to that. Let's see how that works. Ooh, hello, this is new. There we go. Let's try that. That seems a little bit more normal. Right, so first off, I think I should probably do a quick shout out. We have free streams in the F1XL community this week. We have Lightshock with Stracker doing a 24-hour stream on for F2. We have Wyatt someone or other, a Wyatt Wire on F4. So please be sure to go out and check those streams out. I'm not sure which one the F1XL is hosting at the moment, but this is going to be an interesting battle nonetheless here in Bahrain, the Sakhir circuit. Right, you might hear my mouse click occasionally from time to time. So, where do I start? Obviously, Britain last week out there was no commentary from me, it was from Lightshock, so that was a good stream from Lightshock there. Enjoyed that one while I was racing and making a tit of myself down in F4. But in F1, Jolly led the way, doing what he does best. 211 points already this season, and we're just entering round 11. Let's have a quick look at the track map and let's get this sorted. It's been absolutely incredible detail. I don't know what you want to call it. Incredible detail, incredible everything by Jolly at the moment. He's just been phenomenal. Let me just see who is out on track. See, there is a little message there for me. A lovely little message by Nuthead, who has informed me that it will be dry throughout the race. I am slightly surprised by that. Not. However, it would be nice. It is nice to keep on touch of things. Let's see how the stream is just performing, just for the time being. Knock that up a little bit, maybe. Maybe a little bit down on that. So yeah, Jolly leading the way in absolute commanding fashion at the moment. But Battle for Second is looking pretty hot. Xbox Nuthead has just retaken second place off of Binary. Which is, sorry, just having another test on the quality of sound, so I'm hoping it's going well for you out there. But yeah, Jolly leading the way in the title so far, as we all know and well, was probably going to be a thing. Nuthead's doing his best. Binary is also attempting to get himself into the mix of the title race, but already being 100 110 points, or 108 points if you're not ahead, down on the championship leader and reigning champion. Vapiku seemed a return to form after a few weeks of dodginess. He did hit P6 last week out in Britain, but it was a nice little finish and keeping him in front of SF Pred and the Mercedes in P5 currently. So down to Boris Letterbox, who everyone was on about maybe being the guy that will end up dethroning Jolly. Well, first it was maybe dethroning F1XL Vidal, and now it's dethroning Jolly, but nothing has come to pass for him at the moment. But the Toro Rosso driver, he is here this week, the Toro Rosso team owner, doing very averagely. He will not be happy with how he's performed. 4 DNFs, and that has not helped him or Toro Rosso at all this season so far. But Kemba finished P3 out in United States. I'm desperate to call it United States. Great Britain, doing the best he can, well, to keep up with everyone and keep going the way he is going. Pizza Boy, P8 in the championship overall, but P7 in Britain last time out, and Sinful Chris in the Ferrari now, P8 and in Britain. So it looked like there was 14 drivers last week. There is 14 drivers here this week, and they're all starting on, well, the majority are trying to set a lap on the hard compound tyres to start. Niels definitely has the run of things at the moment. Simple Chris, 9 seconds or 10 seconds down effectively on everyone so far, so guessing he is just betting himself into the lap. I hope all is well on his side of things. Let's have a look. Nutter's not doing as well as he had last time out, and last season I should say. I'm hoping, I don't want to say I'm rude, but I'm hoping for more this for the second half of the season, because he is a quality driver, and I'm hoping he can get back into the swing of things, I think is the best way to describe it. So qualifying. Let's have a quick chat about qualifying. What do they need to know? What do these drivers? These drivers don't need to know anything, as Vapid Coot is looking incredibly quite fast. Obviously, probably getting a bit of tips from his teammate, who is the reigning champion, into the pits then for Niels. I thought we might do another lap, to be honest. Let's go on Bull Progeny, the Ferrari of Bull Progeny. See how he can perform. Obviously, things still to come from this man. But qualifying at Bahrain is, well, they're going to very much be thinking about the downforce on this track. Definitely wasn't enough in sector 3, someone's going slow, maybe into the pits, or just letting going away from the of Jolly there, maybe, who's only just beat his teammate in qualifying so far. But the Bahrain International Circuit is a clockwise circuit consisting of 15 turns with 3 DRS zones, and you're most likely to get a big toe in qualifying down the long start finish straight if your teammate is happy to give you that. Obviously, in real F4, memorable scenes from the 2014 World Drivers' Championship between Lewis and Nico in the Mercedes. This circuit is approximately 5.4 kilometres long. Traditionally, like I said earlier, getting a lap time out at this track has been all about maximising your top speed. Do you risk your cornering ability by removing as much downforce as possible to get the maximum out of the straights? Most people do, to be honest. The different setups. The different setup drivers. There definitely will be a few tweaks of drivers. I don't think they're all going to go 5. I think some people might angle out 4. Bull Progeny goes into the pits from there. Nutters is still out. Let's have a look at what he's looking quite slow, to be perfectly honest. So that might be a bad idea. Boris Letterbox is on a lap. He has just started his lap, I should say. I think maybe I definitely think there will be a few different, not many, but a few drivers will go for something a bit different. Maybe I'm looking at Xbox Nuthead. I know he's not a big fan of Bahrain, but I'm thinking of him trying to do something a little bit different. Well, I say that's my hope. That's my thoughts on it. But everyone will be in the same boat. These corners are going to take the absolute life out of your back tyres. That's why I think a lot of people will wear out their hard compound tyres early in the qualifying session, and then maybe we might see a couple of people on the softs. As you can see, Pizza Boy managing a 129.2, sorry, on the soft so far. He's definitely going to beat that on the medium compound tyres. Binary on an outlap on the mediums. So yeah, we'll go with that for now. What else can we do for now? So yeah, we might as well just keep on board with Boris Letterbox. I can't imagine him not finishing this lap. So he does exactly what I said he wouldn't do, and that's he goes into the pits. Let's have a look at the tweet. So Renault looking out the top row. It's a Renault Ferrari at the moment. I'm waiting for Nuthead to cross the line. He's only at P8. I was expecting Nuthead to just slot in P6, just to knock it into a nice colourful formation for the front four rows. But it's still pretty even throughout, to be perfectly honest. Obviously the Renault boys are running away with it at the moment. I know Vapid Coot is very much a driver that his one lap pace is incredible. It has been this season. His race pace could do with a little bit more. Binary warming up his tyres, coming down the last straight before the start-finish straight. See what the McLaren driver can and more than likely will what his performance will be. Actually, that wasn't him starting the lap, that was him going incredibly slowly down the back straight. So he's got something up his sleeve for the time being. I wonder if he will do another lap. A lot of people are going back out on their warm, hard compound tyres. They're going to survive. Without a shadow of a doubt, they'll survive. But then you've also got the likes of Pred, happy to sit in the pits a little bit longer, get the pressure to build up and probably produce an absolute cracker of a lap at the end. Niels then goes fastest of all with a 128 dead on a set of mediums. So he's the quickest of all and quite clearly the quickest on the medium compound tyres, but he's only 5/10 quicker than Jolly, who set his time on the hard compound tyre. So there is out for Vapid Coot. He is on a lap. I don't think he's on a lap just yet. Binary slowing down. He's managed a 129 on the hards, 129 dead, so same sort of time as Nutters at the moment. Let's see. Niels won't do another lap. Nutters, I doubt, will do another lap. Let's go on board with the other McLaren, the sister McLaren of Pizza Boy. Pizza Boy's original lap time was on a set of soft, so I said he would beat that time on a set of medium, so he probably is going to beat that time on a set of hards. I think he hasn't. His best is still on the set of softs, but it doesn't really matter because he is now out of the top 10. Sorry, Pizza Boy, no, Boris Letterbox went P3 until Nutters, throwing out a cracking lap just to displace Jolly as the fastest hard compound runners out there. So he's doing an incredible lap time. Let's see what Pizza Boy. Obviously, these hard compound tyres are taking a little longer to warm up. As Pizza Boy goes around Roland's corner, very well known within the F1XL community, where he hasn't actually lost it in a race. It's just in qualifying or practice he loses it. Interesting nonetheless. It's just following Pizza Boy around, who did make it a incredible lap time of 1:28.2. So he's now the fastest of all on those hard compound tyres, but he did go a bit later in to the lap. Let's see if he pops into the qualifying session. So the track will be more bedded in, more suited to getting those tyres onto a faster time. So he's definitely coming into the pits this lap, it looks like. Whether he... Oh, crossing. Well, definitely getting out of the way of people. That Ferrari, I believe, is of Bull Progeny. And speaking of Bull Progeny, let's go on board, because he could very well be one of the first on the out laps. Let's see where the Pizza Boy will change when he's in the pits to go out onto a set of mediums or softs to the end of the race, end of the qualifying session, to set another lap time, that is. In fact, in sector 3, that looks like Jolly slowing down, making sure he's got himself... Wow, he's out early in qualifying. If that is Jolly, I don't want to go off and not be on board with Bull Progeny if he goes out and sets an absolute stormer of a lap time. See how this one pans out for Bull Progeny. He's coming around at the final corner, the final straight into the final corners now, taking it quite wide off the exit onto the curb. How does Bull Progeny handle his pole at the moment? It's a 1:27.9. It's the quickest of all. Let's go on board. SF Pred manages P3 provisionally, just behind. Jolly is on a lap into sector 2, but there is traffic in front of him, so if he's not careful, he is in trouble. Not kissing the apex as he would have liked to at turn 10, and that could cause him a little bit of loss in time as he's using all the track available to him, and at the moment it's looking good. There is a McLaren getting out of his way. That could very well be binary by the looks of things. We'll check in a minute. They have got a Scarpa on. Binary's going out on a set of softs. He wants to do something different. Niels 998 is not coming out. WRS Cam with 25 seconds to go manages to post it a P3 time of 1:28 dead, beating Turkeys to that spot. Jolly was unable to go faster. That is interesting. Let's have a look. Binary then. It was Binary behind. Vapid Coop. The early... not something I was expecting, but the early runners of... or the leaders, which I was expecting, of Jolly and Vapid Coop, are struggling in the final moments of this qualifying session. No time left. Niels has finished. Pred, putting it P3, has finished. He's provisional there at the moment. Bull Progeny is the fastest man on the track. Could very well be giving his teammate a tow down the second to last straight. It looked very much like that at the moment. Pizza Boy has retired from the session. Vapid Coot though, coming around the last couple of corners now. It's a yellow flag in sector 3. That could very well be. And it's Central Chris into P2. Not enough to beat his teammate, but there was definitely a tow down to second last corner. But it's Vapid Coot that goes fastest with a 1:27.8. Where is Jolly? What can Jolly do? Or is it let's go Boris Letterbox? No, it's not. It's Fury. Fury's not able to go quickest. Binary's a 1:29 dead on his first attempt on the softs. Jolly. Pole! It is pole for Jolly. It's a 1:27.6. Binary slows over the line. Boris Letterbox, what can he do? Can he do anything to disrupt? It is. He split the Renault with a 1:27.7. And WRS Cam goes into the pit, and all the excitement I have missed. Xbox Nuthead throwing it into P6 there as well. What a cracking little display towards the end of the qualifying session there. Really looking forward to how this is going to pan out in the race. But it's Jolly in the Renault who will take pole. In P2, alongside him on the grid, is Boris Letterbox. In P3 is Vapid Coot in the Renault. P4, Bull Progeny. P5, Sinful Chris. That's incredible by the Ferrari duo. P6 is Xbox Nuthead, Jolly's nearest rival in the championship. Niels 998, P7, the Dutchman doing a good job in the Alfa Romeo. Nutters 91 in 8th. 9th is SF Pred, WRS Cam in P10. Turkeys, Pizza Boy, SRT Fury and Binary all starting outside of the top 10 in that order respectively. Crazy end to qualifying there. There was indeed no time set from Binary on those soft tyres in the end, so he definitely looked like he was stopping towards the end. And before I get any further, let's get us into a little bit of the race. It is finally race time here at Bahrain. As the drivers are readying themselves on the grid, they'll know there is no shortage of overtaking opportunities around this 3.3 mile circuit. The best, of course, is at turn 1, but soon after at turn 4 there is another opportunity to make the moves stick. There are 15 corners here at Sakir, 6 to the left, 9 to the right, and locking the front left of the tricky braking zone of turn 10 could lead to a flat spot or two. We shouldn't forget that Sakir is also notorious for eating those rear tyres, so be sure to watch out for some different strategy calls today and for the drivers to be looking after their tyres. As we wait for the drivers to get themselves ready for this race. Just finishing, doing the final touches to their strategies, maybe to anything else. It will be a quiet Formula 1 Xbox Leagues race. 14 drivers. Safety car is nearly guaranteed at the moment. But definitely be an interesting way to see how this race pans out. I'm looking forward to seeing how the drivers what's the best way, cope with Jolly. Well, cope with the Renault Giro. Boris Letterbox definitely has a chance. Obviously no Kemba this week, so it'll be interesting to see how he survives overall. They are readying up now. Let's have a look at the overall, or let's have a chat about the overall standings quickly. And obviously massive fight between Renault and McLaren for the overall. Mr. Tazo versus Binary, and 35 points between them. And obviously at the moment this does not look like a good way for McLaren to get points, starting very far down the back, but they have the option of whatever tyres they want, and maybe going a little bit further into the race, causing a little bit of an issue. I'll keep the full map on for now. Let's see what kind of tyres those guys actually have picked. So softs for Binary, mediums for SRT Fury, and hards for Turkeys and Pizza Boys. So definitely different strategies being panned out. Back to the overalls while they're just going around the middle sector now, or sector 2, whichever way you like to describe it. Those two are running away with it overall, but Ferrari in a bit of limbo themselves. And then Racing Point, Mercedes, Toro Rosso, Haas, Alpha, Red Bull all have some decent. There's a massive battle for 4th place. Let's just say that it is anyone's game for that, which is great to see. Obviously, like to have a bit closer elsewhere. Let's go back then and see how this one is panning out. Obviously there, Jolly's beamed away, he wants to start, but Boris is holding things up a little bit. Vapid Coot, they obviously doing things their own way. Jolly's finally slowed down for them enough, and Boris is caught up enough, but it is nearly our wait is nearly over. The time is nigh, as they would say in maybe Lord of the Rings or Witcher era, but here we are. Let us go with that. Angle is pretty terrible. That is quite right. We're on 5 lights and away we go. That's Sakir, and it's a great start from Jolly and his teammate, but Boris looks like he's bogged down and the Ferraris are getting into action a little bit there, and it looks like actually one of the Ferraris is trying to go around the outside. Alfa Romeo Niels is doing an absolutely cracking job as well, and Boris has fallen down 2 places. Sinful Chris has had a great start. Boris trying to go around the outside of Sinful Chris though at turns 4, I think that is, and he's not been able to be successful there. Pred and Cam are fighting a bit further down. Binary's not done anything. There's a yellow flag, and that is Binary, unfortunately. That is their damage. I don't really want to go away from it just yet. This is working to Jolly's advantage absolutely perfectly. Boris, his probably nearest rival in pace, is now stuck in 4th place behind Sinful Chris, who is not going to let him past easy, but here he comes having a look up the inside, but there was nothing to it on that occasion for Boris Letterbox, and Jolly is now pulling away. He's a second ahead of his teammate, who's also doing quite a good job of moving away from Sinful Chris. So it's pretty solid at the moment for the Renault team, and especially overall, because Pizza Boy is down in 12th and SRT Fury in Binary is struggling down in 14th. Let's keep on board with this battle, because Slipstream is going to be key going down the back straight. Jolly obviously fastest up in the race, and here comes Boris. He's very, very quick down the start-finish straight. Where will that put him? That's a pretty terrible camera angle from this point. He's up the inside of Sinful Chris. Sinful Chris is not letting him have it, trying to keep up alongside him to be on the outside into turn 4, but it's not going to happen. He has made the position 6. Sinful Chris is now down to P4. Boris has got a lot of work to do to catch up though, as will this be Paul Progeny trying to overtake his teammate, because that is going to be an interesting one. Let's move away from that. Let's keep the track map off for now. Sinful Chris then, just doing whatever he can to keep in touch with Boris Lebot, the man who has just overtaken him. SF Pred down in P10. I was expecting a little bit more from him. Turkeys has fallen down to P13, so losing 2 positions from somewhere. Progeny able to keep on the back of his teammate. There are looking like there is a little, well, there is looking like there is just a small little gaps forming within each little bit of a sector there. Sinful Chris nearly with Paul Progeny. Boris Littlebox got fast as Neil's going up alongside Xbox Nuthead. This is going to be an interesting battle. Nuthead is holding the inside line, but I don't think he's got anything in defence, unfortunately. Englishman not able to get past the Dutchman on that occasion, and now he's left himself open to Nutters behind. But Jolly up front, just eking a little bit of a gap out over his teammate. He's going to need his teammate to give him a little bit of a buffer. 29 laps of this incredible Grand Prix. We're into 3 of them already. Qualifying was intense. The Renault boys and Boris Letterbox did not fail to deliver at all. And at the start of the race, they have not failed to deliver at all either. The Ferrari's getting an absolute cracking start, swamping the bogged down Boris Letterbox, but he was able to keep off one of them. Xbox Nuthead is doing all he can to keep up with this man. But I will have to probably swap over. So there's a big smoke block up there by Nutters, I believe. But there's a good performance so far from the Haas guys. But I am going to have to go on board with this battle just as it goes across the line. I'm hoping it's going to show me a good picture of behind as well, because Nuthead is going to do everything he can. Here comes Boris Letterbox up the inside. It's a pretty easy move in the end there for Boris Letterbox. Xbox Nuthead trying round the outside of Niels this time. Dutchman's not giving him any room, and he's not able to overtake, but he's still pretty close. He might be able to get up the inside. There's a little bit of a squeeze, maybe a bit of moving under braking, but Nuthead is just trying to keep in tow there, and he's falling back in line pretty easily. And the front three are moving away pretty easily. The battling is intense so far. Vapid is going to do all he can to keep on the back end of Boris Letterbox as well. So, Nuthead doing all he can to keep on board with the Red Bull driver. I will take the track map off again now. Lap 4, heading into lap 5, sorry, and Boris is slowly catching the Renault of Jolly up front. Jolly has not finished any lower than second this season. Boris is going fast, but here comes Nuthead. It's just not a lot to it at the moment. It's just all evened out with everyone having DRS. And he's not going to be able to make a move stick. Pizza Boy is keeping at the back of this train. And do not forget, he is on a set of medium compound tyres. Let's go to the tyre choice now. Let's see how this is going. They're not able to get close enough at the moment. Obviously these guys are all on mediums in the top 10 at the moment. Nothing doing at the moment for the Red Bull driver, but he's got a good toe, good turn 10 exit there, and we shall not forget that that is going to be a killer of a corner, as is this one. Turn 11, well, it's not really turn 11, it's turn 12, that's the killer, Roland's corner. Massive problem for some drivers if they're not careful. Boris is not gaining on Jolly anymore. Jolly's got them. The look at him, and well, Nuthead will be pretty happy. And here comes, just ahead of this battle, Sinful Chris and Bull Progeny, the two Ferrari drivers, are going side by side. No team orders in this Ferrari team, I can tell you that much. They are battling tooth and nail. It's given Niels 998 the opportunity to have a go at Bull. Bull Progeny has left himself open for an attack by the Alfa Romeo driver, and it looks like Alfa Romeo driver has squeezed through between turns 5, 6 and 7 unbelievably. And Bull Progeny, there's damage. There is damage to Xbox Nuthead, and what has gone on there? I'm going to have to re-look at that on the stream, but that's going to cause major problems for Nuthead into it. And now he's going to be swept by the two Hasses. And I think Nuthead just broke a little bit too late compared to Bull Progeny. Progeny's just lost a bit of control out of that, and that has jeopardised Nuthead's race. Nuthead is going to have to pit. There is front left end plate. It's going to cause problems. Nutters is having look at the Nut versus the Nuthead is on, as Pred is definitely having a bit of problems down in P10. That's close there between the Haas and the Red Bull driver, and Nutters has got the move stick. Will Nuthead stick out? It does. That's a very, very brave decision for Nuthead, and into the pits comes SF Pred. Let's have a quick look. I know there's a battle going on, but I don't think anything. I should go on with it, to be honest. These two are battling too. Dangerous now, because there is going to be a freeway if not careful. And Nuthead really very slow out of all that. Not what I was expecting at all. Nuthead is now P9. And I was just about to say before his incident that he is, as he's let Pizza Boy through pretty much, that he'll be happy to be where he is when Binary is down in P13, but that is not the case anymore, I do not think. Niels splitting the Red Bulls, the Ferrari driver, so after between all of this, and it was Bull Progeny's rear end with Xbox Nuthead's front wing. So Vapiku has lost ground to Boris Letterbox in P2, and Boris and Jolly are just trading lap times, I think, at the moment. Not really too much between them. It's been 1.4, 1.5 for the last few laps now, and Fury, well, Pizza Boy obviously got past, Binary's getting past Turkeys now. Will Nuthead pit? Nuthead does pit. And it is going to be a change of front wing, and more than likely a set of hard compound tyres before the end of the Grand Prix. it is, and he's just got to try and just stick with it. Nuthead, I know it's going to be difficult to perform that, but let's have a look, see what's going on. Anything going on here? Nothing at the moment. Like Nuthead said earlier, or sent a message to me earlier, it is going to be a dry race. Not we expected any different in the deserts of Sakia. But Rapid could very well be on course for another podium position. The win has eluded him, but he's done fantastic as, I suppose, a wingman to Jolly since taking that Renault seat after round 3. Sitting in a really, really good team in Renault. He could have chosen a few, could have waited out a little bit longer and maybe chosen Ferrari or the Alpha. But nothing at the moment. Simple Chris doing a really good job of having the straight line speed to hold off Niels for the time being. Nethead, he's lost 9 seconds to Pred. He was in front of Pred as well. So Pred, early pit for mediums. I don't think they're going to go to the end, so he could be 2-stopping. It is a possibility to 2-stop here. Maybe Pred had issues, or maybe he's counting on a safety car. You never know. Binary into the pits then, onto a set of hard compound tyres himself. Where does that put him in comparison to Nuthead? I think that's 7 seconds there, so Nuthead has a lot of work to do to catch up with his rival in the championship so far. And here comes Niels 998 up the inside of the Ferrari of Sinful Chris, just not able to hold him off any longer with Sinful Chris, and here comes Paul Progeny all over the back of his teammate, and 3-second time penalty. And what has happened? He's now let Nutters through, and he's going to let WRS Cam through as well. He's kept in front just, but Cam is going to have a look at him down into the final corner, and it's not going to happen on this occasion, but into turns 14 and 15 into turns 1 he could lose a position. Niels has stepped away a little bit in P4. The two Hasses now are coming into life a little bit. And Pizza Boy going very, very wide to try and overtake SRT Fury there. Let's see what else is going on. Nothing down below a moment. In this battle for P4, it's Alpha, Ferrari, Haas, Ferrari and Haas. Incredible stuff so far, if I don't say so myself. Let's see. A little bit of a love tap there from WRS Cam to the back end of Ball Progeny. Let's go on board with... It's not the angle I wanted, but we will go with it. Simple Chris has started to reel Niels 998 back in, going down the back straight again. Let's have a look at the Ferrari. What can he do? He's not going to have the same luck as Niels did going into turn 11 there. Going through Roland's corner then. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. And it is Boris Letterbox that's lost it somewhere. He's got front end plate down here. No, he hasn't. He's lost it, and he's lost ground to his teammate. There is no damage on that Toro Rosso, but he has lost it, and that is huge. And into the pits goes Boris Letterbox. He probably is overheated those tyres, and he's going to go onto a set of hards to the end of the Grand Prix, and that has given Vappy a massive, massive boost, and he could claim his joint highest of the season so far. Don't think Jolly will let him overtake him towards the end of Vapid. Hungary was a second. Was a 1-2 in Hungary in round 9 for those two, and it could very well be another 1-2 for the Renault guys in Bahrain. Mr. Tazo will be incredibly happy with that result if that is how it finishes. Let us go back to that one. So, Sinful Chris pitted as well as Nutters. They've gone onto a set of hard compound tyres, so they are gonna. That's gonna be interesting. Boris Letterbox down to P9, 1.5 seconds in front of SF Pred. So Pred is maybe knows he's not going to be in for a win, so he just wants to be a little bit of a nuisance in there. That'll be interesting. Jolly pits, and I can't see anyone overtaking, so let's have a look where Jolly will come out. Vapid obviously stays out, Neil stays out, Ball stays out, WRS Cam stays out. So Jolly is coming, it looks like P8 at the moment. Where is, yeah, he's well in front of Boris Letterbox. Boris Letterbox just coming out down the start finish straight now, so Jolly is covering that, but we'll wait and see for a time on that in a moment. Enigmas in this so far are Turkeys and Pizza Boy. Jolly's 7 seconds behind Turkeys and about 10 seconds behind Pizza Boy, so it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. I don't want to go on board. He is 7 seconds in front of Boris Letterbox, so that 2-second lead after Boris's mistake, or before Boris's mistake, has now led to a 7.5 second lead. Let's go on board the Pizza Boy. He's seeming to get a bit between his teeth at the moment, and up the inside into 11 on WRS Cam, and the move is done pretty easily. No, it's not. Cam is fighting back through 12, but had to concede, and Cam's lost it. Cam has lost it. Will he take damage? He will, and he fought a little bit too long, and that is gutting for the Haas driver. He's tried and worked so hard. He didn't want to lose that position, and I think he probably would have been going into the pits that lap anyway, but it wasn't to be. So Pizza Boy stays out. Everyone is coming in, it looks like now. Obviously Turkeys isn't. I want to go on board with Vapid Coot. Vapid Coot's had a pretty rapid pit stop. His teammate goes past. Niels is coming out of the pits as well. Pizza Boys receives a 3-second time penalty. Where is Boris Letterbox? Boris Letterbox is a huge one. He's going to come out behind Boris. No, he's not. Boris is just behind him, and Boris has to do all that hard work again, and he has 2-lap older hard compound tyres. What can Vapid do? Pred up into P6 on those medium compound tyres. He's got a lot of work to do to take them to the end. Nuthead is not last, he is 13th, so it's not all over yet, because Binary is not in the points either, so still work to be done on that side for Nuthead, but it's not a track that he likes nevertheless, so he will be just glad to get this one over and done with, I think. So Vapid having to defend. Jolly is only 5.2 seconds behind Turkeys at the moment. The gap to Pizza Boy, I'd say, is 10 seconds still between Jolly and the McLaren driver. But the battle is the current battle. I'd say for net P2 at the moment is Vapid Coot and Boris Letterbox. Johnny just goes fastest of all, laying down a marker for everyone else, and is slowly, it's about 9 seconds now between Johnny and Pizza Boy in the lead. And wow, plenty of things to talk about on Extra this week so far. But incredible nonetheless. So, lost myself a little bit there. Quieten down a little bit. Vapid is able to hold the gap to Boris, and there's enough in his arsenal for the time being to hold that gap. SF Pred might be a conundrum in all this. He might be able to get in there and hold Boris Letterbox up if that is his game plan. We don't know what is going to happen with Pred. He definitely looks like a two-stopper. And as we've seen, two-stopping might be a good idea with the safety cars having the issues as they have. But nothing at the moment. Still got 14 laps of this Bahrain F1XL Grand Prix to go. So anything is possible still. So Turkeys is starting to lose ground to Pizza Boy, and Jolly is catching him up. Niels and Simple Chris battling away. That's another one that is going to go on all day long. Let's get on board with it. Niels trying to do what he did earlier, but he's not having it. Simple Chris is doing everything he can to keep that position. Keep that position or get that position. Either or. He's doing whatever he can to get it, but these two have been at hammer and tongs all day long. So it'll be interesting to see how these two react throughout. Boris has not really caught too much onto Vapid. I'll quickly go onto that. A battle again going down the start-finish straight, and then head back down to Niels and Simple Chris. But there's a big look up for the Toro Rosso team owner there, so that is a gutter for him. He is catching up down the start finish straight. Is it enough? Don't think it is. 0.3 of a second. It's just not enough. Let's quickly go on board here. Niels is not far behind actually. Ball portioning and Nutters is having a little bit of a ding dong for P9 as well. SRT Fury waiting in the wings for a point. Let's see if Nutters can get anything up into turn 4. Defensive as Bull. Nothing have it so far. And it's round the outside. It's a nice little move if it's pulled off, but it's not at the moment. It is finally. And Bull has had to concede. And what was looking like a good day for the Ferraris is now dropping down a little bit. Let's go on board with Boris Letterbox. He's looking a little bit more tidy this lap so far, so could very well get himself into a decent point scoring position. Well, I say decent point scoring position. This is effectively for net P2, and into the pits come Pizza Boy. He was only 8 seconds in front of Jolly on that lap, so starting to lose time. Where will he come out? This Boris has got a lot closer to Vapid Coop this time round. Vapid goes defensive, having the inside line into turn 1, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Has lost the position on this occasion down the back straight. Looked like he was going to be able to hold him off, but it was only a matter of time. In the end, it looked maybe now. Pizza Boy coming out in P7 on a set of medium compound tyres. He might be able to risk a lot more. Up the inside is Sinful Chris, having a look at that one. As well, there's a little bit of contact, and they're still side by side through 5, 6 and 7. But Simple Chris has had to concede, but then again round the outside, but it's not enough on 8 base. Switched him back perfectly by Simple Chris, and the Ferrari driver, he got the position stuck. He has now going down the back finish, the back straight maybe. Fantastic fighting between these two. It is now going to be Pizza Boy. How long are they going to hold Pizza Boy up? It could very well be the question. Pred is going to go a long way on those soft, medium compound tyres if he's going to the end. Which I can't imagine he will, because it's just damaging. I can't think of any other word. Let's keep on board on the McLaren driver of Pizza Boy, because he is going to... Oh, this is a swamp on the Ferrari. Could he lose 2 positions here? Sinful Chris, he's got no DRS. And, ooh, that's going to be an interesting one. Pizza Boy has a double overtake down the back finish straight, and here comes Sinful Chris. Sinful Chris nails round 76, it seems like. Up the inside, Sinful Chris goes on Pizza Boy as well. He's having a little look on the McLaren driver and saying, don't think you can get away that quickly. Bull Progeny receives a 3-second time penalty. Pizza Boy survives the scare and is up to P5, possibly P4 when Pred pits. And will they fight it out again? Sinful Chris and Niels, and Nutters is getting himself involved in this as well. Through all that, Bull Progeny has dropped down to P10 and has Binary for company down in that position as well. I will quickly go, nothing to it that occasion for those. Let's go on board with Boris, Vapid and Pred, because these guys are still incredibly close. Pred is still very competitive on those 11 lap old mediums, and he's looking good for his worth. And here comes Vapid Coupe. Boris has got a lot of work to do, defend from the Renault driver, and up the inside, fastest lap to Pizza Boy. Vapid is still not... Oh, he's got to be careful, because he could lose a place to Pred if he's not careful. Let's have another look. Ooh, Boris has got to be careful around in that area. And will... Oh, Pred is going to have another... Oh god, this is so close. No positional changes yet. Binary has overtaken Bull Progeny for P10. He is on an older compound tyre, but we do know how much Binary loves to make old tyres competitive. Pred all over the back of Vapid Coupe. Vapid is not wanting this whatsoever. He wants Pred to bugger off so he can just concentrate on the man in front of him. And Jolly, I've given him no time of this race at all, really, which is a shame. But he is just controlling the race. Every opportunity he gets, he controls it. Pred dropped back off that Renault a little bit, it looked like then, but might be wrong out of all that. Will Vapid be close enough? It does not look like on this occasion. Pred's looking still very speedy on those medium. Pizza Boy goes past us again, and nothing to it. They've got to be careful, because that McLaren you can see in the background is chasing very quickly. Turkey's just ahead of his teammate down in P12, and the same strategy has not had the same luck, unfortunately for him. Nutters P8, looking good at the moment for the Haas guy after his teammates struggled through turn 12 with a Ronin corner issue. At the moment, it's still Jolly that leads the way from Boris Letterbox. Vapid Coot in P3. SF Pred doing an incredible job to keep up with this in P4. Pizza Boy, different strategy. P5. Sinful Chris, P6. Niels 998 in P7. Nutters 91 in P8 in the Haas. P9 is the other Toro Rosso of SRT Fury, and Binary is in P10, but he's going to have some fun for Bull Progeny and Turkeys very soon. Here it comes. Boris Letterbox doing a little swerve there Interesting to say the least. But up the inside goes Vapid Coot. Has he got the move stick on this occasion? Oh, it's very close. Literally locking wheels, it looks like. Two drivers who desperately want that second place position. And Vapid might have the move stick, but here comes Pred. This is all close. Through 5, 6 and 7. Pred's trying to go up the outside. Whoa, this is 3 wide. No way 3 wide there would go. Boris is desperate to keep a hold of that position, and Vapid has probably done the wise thing and just knock out of it for the time being. So still plenty of fight left in these guys. Vapid and Pred, and Pizza Boy has now joined the fray on 4 lap old mediums. He could very well get that net P2, which will do the McLaren team a world of good in the overall constructors battle. Pred, is that Pred into the pits? Pred is into the pits, so he set 2-stop strategy was very much a thing for him there. Boris still trying his best to hold off that Renault, but he's now got a McLaren Renault behind him as well. This is going to be a cracking final 7 laps of the Grand Prix, but how is this going to pan out for them? I think Sinful Chris is actually catching up with the pack. Pred and Nuthead both onto a set of soft compound tyres, maybe just to steal fastest lap, I'm not sure for Nuthead, but Pred has the possibility to not do anything at all. I'm really sorry to say that, actually, just looking at it. That's a shame for the Mercedes driver. 2-stopper definitely didn't work for him. So, battling away still, Vapid Coot is as closest he's been to Boris Letterbox for a very good few laps, but he's also now got Pizza Boy on a fresh set of mediums instead of Pred, who was on a worn set. Let's see how this works out. Pizza Boy is going to have the best. Is that Boris trying to break the slipstrings up the inside? Vapid, he's got to make this move stick sooner or later. It's very, very wide into it. Side by side, Vapid has got the move done, but Boris is being blocked in by the Renault, and Vapid's lost it. Vapid has lost it, and there's yellow flags in sector 1. Is that down to Fury? Binary? Must be binary. But now Boris has held off Vapid and Pizza Boy, and that is not at all. There was I don't want to say questionable, but it is very elbows out defending. Ooh, there's lag going on with, is that Vapid Coot? That is not good. I see a multitude of lag there between a few cars, and I don't know how this is going to pan out. I'm not sure how Pizza Boy has got through, but I'm not sure how you commentate on something like that. That is incredible, especially when cars are inside cars Pred, fastest man on the track, finally into the pits. These guys are still lagging. Vapid is... well, these guys are going to have to keep onto the back of Pizza Boy as best as they can. And let's have a look at the race director and see what kind of penalties are out. There is a 3 second for Pred, a 3 second for Bull, 3 seconds for Pizza Boy, 3 seconds for Turkeys, another Bull penalty there, another Pred penalty. So Pizza Boy needs a 3 second gap as best as he can. Boris looks like he's got the ability to keep up with him at the moment. Vapid is struggling to do the same, but that could all be down to the lag. Cam has another 3 second time penalty, so Boris, sorry not Boris, Bull could be getting himself out of the points because of that penalty, but sorry, no, he won't be because it's Pred. And up the inside, here comes Boris up the inside of the McLaren of Pizza Boy, but that lag is incredibly dangerous. You don't know what is going to go and happen, and it looked very much like two cars were inside each other then. And again, up the inside comes Pizza Boy and Boris, and nothing to it on this occasion. Pizza Boy, oh, I can't tell if there's an accident or not, and that is really, really damning. I'm hoping it's not my it shouldn't be my end. I've got a huge amount of spare internet to play with. Nutters then overtakes Fury for P6. Fury's got back on it, but I don't want to swap the angles because this battle is incredible. But I might have to just for a moment because they are catching Sinful Chris just ever so slowly as well. Ball back up front because Pizza Boy is going to have a run at Boris Letterbox again. See how it pans out. Boris will defend. He defends hard there, and will have the inside for turn one. And this is just wearing those medium compound tyres out, and the advantage King Liam has is going to run out soon if he's not careful. Look at that! Really, really strong defending there by Boris Letterbox, Pizza Boy, sorry, and yeah, gone straight over. Desperate not to let the Boris Letterbox through there, and it's given Vapid a bit of a chance to get back into this battle, but all the while, Jolly is just eking that time out at the front. 12.5 seconds. Jolly is definitely the man at the moment. Incredible stuff by the Renault driver. See, nothing happening there. And Fury able to dispatch now, it looks like, of Nutters and move on to Sinful Chris maybe. And Boris Letterbox down the straight. He's lost time to Pizza Boy. He's losing out, and this could be problematic. These two might need to consider working together. 2 laps to go. Vapid and Boris might need to work together to get themselves back into a fight for P2. Yellow flag in sector 2. Let's see what that looks like. An Xbox Nuthead. It is with no front wing. Nuthead is having a torrid time, unfortunately, this race. And he will be glad when it's over, I'm sure. Back on board with the battle for P2. 2 laps remaining. Needless to say, but Jolly is leading this Grand Prix. Well, on the plus side, it looks like the lag has died down a little bit, which is quite a nice thing to see. Obviously I want these guys to fight properly to the end, and into the pits there does come the Red Bull of Xbox Nuthead. So Niels down in P9, definitely not where I was expecting. He's having such a great start. I think he might have had issues somewhere. Turkeys is a silent runner, really. He's done a fantastic job. He's up to P8 at the moment and could catch the battle for P5. That is one that's kicking off as well. Vapid, and look at Boris Letterbox basically pushing that McLaren through. Let's have a look-see. Let's see how this works out. McLaren, Toro Rosso and Renault. Ooh, it's looking interesting so far. No move from Pete. No overtake from Boris yet, but it's very, very close. Will he go defensive again? They're just all straight lined at the moment and there's nothing to it. And it is going to be like this for the rest of the lap. I think Boris definitely just needs to hold on and use next lap as his advantage. I say his advantage, this is his attack. Vapid could, if he's I say if he's listening, if he's smart, Vapid could get himself into a really good position. He just needs to knock his usage out completely and just follow, because the slipstream around here will help him incredibly, and then maybe have an attack down between turns 13 and 14. Binary receives a 3-second time penalty there. I don't know how well I've kept up to date with those ones. Jolly then, 12.5 seconds. He's not really pulled away. I think he's just in cruise mode at the moment. So Xbox Nuthead receives a 3-second time penalty. And he's on his last lap. Pizza Boy has a little bit of advantage over Boris Letterbox, but he's got a 3-second time penalty to contend with. So yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. That's Xbox Nuthead again, isn't it, unfortunately. Ooh, there was a very, very poor exit there by Boris Letterbox, and he's going to have a Renault for company up the inside, but he does not. Vapid hold back an SRT Fury. There's battles going on here as well between Fury, Nutters and Sinful Chris, and nothing to it at the moment, but there's another. There's a Nutters nearly going into the back, the diffuser of that Toro Rosso there. Up the inside, I caught that at a right moment, didn't I? Up the inside go Boris Letterbox and Pizza Boy, but nothing has it. Vapid Coot will have a quick look, but there's no space for that Renault at all. At the moment, this battle is huge, and Jolly just flying off. I wonder if Jolly had anything in the bank holding it, and Boris has gone wide out of turn 12 and he's lost it now. Jolly has taken victory here at Bahrain, but will Vapid have anything? He doesn't in the bag, so Pizza Boy will finish P2, but it will be a 1-2 for Vapid. Let's have a look at these. How will this pan out behind as well? SRT Fury will cross the line in P6 and finish in P6. He does, and Niels goes into P7. Penalties. It is another 1-2 for Renault, and Boris looks like he's quite annoyed with that by leaving quite early on. But what an incredible Grand Prix we have had. It was a little bit of a lull in the middle, but was able to get itself out of it. Jolly takes the win in style yet again. Vapid will come home in P2, or has come home in P2, and trying to get up the backside of that McLaren there as well, and make it another 1-2 for Renault. Wait for Just have a look at Jolly there with Rapid and Boris. So I'm getting a bit of feedback from, I think, the in-game chat there. Wow, what a way for me to come back into the commentary side of things. As you can see, there's a fair few penalties throughout. Jolly taking the win, 15 seconds in front of Rapid Coot and Boris Letterbox. There's not much between the two of those as feedback from Pred. Pizza Boy, P4. In P5 is Simple Chris. P6 is SRT Fury. P7 is Move 998, and I'm going to quickly do this so I don't have to have that. P7 was Xbox, it was not Xbox Nuthead, it was Neil's 998. P8 was Nutters 91. P9 was Turkeys. P10 was Bull Progeny. P11 was SF Pred. P12 was WRS Cam. Binary came home. P13, unfortunately, a lap down was Xbox Nuthead. Not his favourite race, but his battle with Binary continues because they finished 13th and 14th respectively, and that means neither of them gets points. So their battle for silver, the second place, will continue. Let's have a quick look at how things pan. There's nothing else coming through on other leagues, so I do not know. But if you have enjoyed, please don't forget there were 2 other streams for F1XL tonight. We had Lightshock and Stracker doing ones in for F2, and we also had one in F4, which was done by a Wattwire. That's WATTWYER, and yeah. So go and have a look at that. It will be really interesting to see how all that panned out. So, but for now, I guess this is probably the best time for me to say thank you very much for tuning in. And if you're tuning in after as well, thank you very much for having a watch. Obviously, this is a little bit of a new experience stream for me. Obviously, coming straight through from the Xbox. But I think for now, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.